Food has no boundaries. Everyone treasures their own cuisines, but for newcomers, food takes on other meanings. They diligently preserve their cuisine to give a taste of home to their new American home, instill the love of their home country to their children, and lastly, proudly represent their culture in our America the Beautiful. Spice and Recipe does all the above by introducing recipes from different countries enriched with human stories and comparison of tradition. Hi, I'm Mike DiGiacomo, a born and raised American and a food lover, and I invite you to join me as we discover the origins of flavor, the journey of spices, and the recipes of the world. Hello there, welcome to Spice and Recipe. I'm Mike DiGiacomo, and today we're going to start today's show off with a question. Did you know that caraway seeds were named a seed by accident? They're not actually a seed, they're a fruit. They are a fruit. So take a look at this. We're going to give you some description about caraway seeds, and then we're going to come back with our next guest to tell you how it works with German cuisine. Caraway is a biennial plant in the parsley family known for its seeds that in fact are dried fruits. Crescent-shaped with 5 pale ridges and sweet and tangy taste, caraway seeds are used as a flavoring in breads, salads, vegetables, ice creams, candies, and a type of German liquor called Kümmel, German for caraway. The seeds make excellent tea to calm an upset stomach or heartburn. In the United States, the caraway seeds are added to rye bread, often called Jewish rye bread, perfect for Reuben sandwiches, of course, that originated here in Omaha, Nebraska. The plant is generous. Fresh, feathery leaves can be used as garnish in soups and salads, adding a mild parsley dill flavor. The roots are also edible, much like parsnips, but a little stronger in taste. The plant grows well in sunny locations and well-drained soil to reach about 2 feet in height. Fruits are harvested in the summer when ripe and then dried, grown all over Europe except Mediterranean regions. It's difficult to pinpoint its origin. Caraway is a staple of German cuisine. Dutch caraway is known for its quality, and Finland is the biggest exporter of this spice. The caraway seeds can be used as a whole or grounded, but be prepared to spend about $1 for an ounce of whole seeds or about $6 for an ounce of grounded caraway seeds. When you think of German cuisine, sometimes you think of sausage and beer. Well, we're going to have sausage in this recipe. We're not going to have any beer. We're going to work on that for next time. But we're going to prepare it's a Krautsalat or a cabbage salad is what this is called. And I'm going to introduce you to Kerstin Olson. He's our home cook today. Kerstin, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And we've got a great recipe we're going to make today. But first, I want to talk about you. Sure. You immigrated to the United States in, 30 years ago?
Yeah, 1990, September of 1990.
Yeah. So where were you born? You're born and raised in Germany.
I was born in Germany, in Bavaria, just 30 miles south of Munich.
Mm-hmm. So, and what brought you here? Was it studies? Was it?
Yeah, originally studies.
Yeah.
So I was done with my studies in Germany, and one of my friends had an exchange year in Minnesota. That said she was really excited. And said, that's so wonderful. So I decided to do that too, and I really liked it. Stayed on for graduate school, and that's now 30 plus years later.
Minnesota's a great state, but then you ultimately found Nebraska here, made it down here, and you're we're going to talk about this later, but she's actually a food scientist. Is that a fair assessment? You're a food scientist?
That is correct, yeah. I studied food science and nutrition.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to talk about some of the foods that, the influence of German, especially German cuisine. Germany has had a good impact on the tastes of the world. What's it known for?
So I think it's really known for sausages, meat products.
Bratwurst, right?
Yeah, sure. And then also baked goods. So because if you go to Germany and you look in the butcher shop, that's a lot of times it's still a very old-fashioned butcher shop with different kinds of cold cut sausages, cuts of meat, and then bakeries as well. And obviously very famous for bread.
But that region around Germany, in Western Europe, because you have France and Italy's a little bit to the south, the other countries, how have those other countries influenced the German cuisine over the years?
They have a lot. So my part of Germany, Bavaria, borders Austria, Switzerland.
It's on the east side of Germany, right?
It's on the south side.
South side.
Yep, south side. So we're
I knew I was right
bordering.
about that. Yeah, I nailed that, didn't I?
We're 1 hour north of the Alps about. So if you go any further south, you go to Austria, Czech Republic. If you go east, and then southwest is France. Oh, we have a lot of the traditional Austrian cuisine with lots of bakery products. And the salad that I'm going to make today, that is actually influenced by the Czech cuisine as well.
And it's got a white sausage. I want to talk about this. This is the sausage right here. It's a Bavarian bratwurst. Is that what it is?
It is. Yeah.
And so this is the sausage we're going to. Okay. So how do you want to start with this? Where do you want to start?
So what we need to do is, and I want to point out that this cabbage salad is pretty different from the American. American coleslaw uses, I think, mayonnaise. It's more creamy.
It is, yeah.
This is
It's not a
lighter.
creamy? Yeah.
No, it is lighter. It's a vinaigrette-based dressing. It's super simple, but what we usually do, what we would start with is boil some of the ingredients.
Boil the water, yeah.
We have water.
Because we want to boil that down before we get some of the other stuff going.
Yeah, that's right, because what we're going to do with this is actually boil and somewhat soften the caraway seed, which is the major spice in this salad. And sometimes you can use broth.
Okay.
My mom sometimes uses chicken broth.
So you're going to put the water in there.
Yep, we start with water.
And then what other ingredients following that are we going to put in there?
We'll use vinegar, and we prefer apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can use white wine, but apple cider gives it just a very nice crisp
It's
acidity.
quite pungent, that apple cider vinegar, right?
It is, but it has this fruity note, and I think it goes really well with the salad.
And as a great German home cook, you're kind of eyeballing that.
Yeah,
What
I'm
would you put it?
eyeballing
Was it
that.
about 3 ounces maybe?
I would
ounces?
say about a quarter to a third of a cup.
Okay.
Yeah, I really eyeball it. So
I know, right. That's the best type of cooking, I say. A little this, a little
yeah,
that.
this, little that. So the recipe that this is based on calls for about a tablespoon of sugar, and the sugar is also good because it balances the acidity.
Yeah.
So again,
Good
I'm
balance.
eyeballing it.
Yeah.
And we can always,
Add more
later.
to your personal preference. These are the caraway seeds. Can I
Yes.
grab one of these real quick? Have you ever eaten one?
Yeah, I
solo?
have. Yeah, I have. And what you mentioned early on, that it's good for an upset stomach, that is really true.
Ooh, they're
It has a
crunchy.
lot of essential oils, and it's added to dishes traditionally that are kind of heavy, maybe full of greasy, because they help with digestion.
It does have a little bit of an anise type
It does.
taste to it, but not quite. It's got, you know what I mean? And they're crunchy too.
Yeah, they're crunchy.
And it's on bread. You see it on rye bread quite a bit, like we said earlier. And so you just add some of that, what, a teaspoon, tablespoon?
However much you want. I would say about a teaspoon,
Okay.
maybe 2 teaspoons.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we can put pepper in it as well. Maybe I'll just do a little bit. So this is white pepper.
Okay. What's the difference between white pepper and black pepper?
The difference is that black pepper, if I'm not mistaken, is the unripe. No. White pepper is the unripe pepper, and the black pepper is more fermented, and they have very different tastes. So the
Right.
white pepper has what we would call
Well,
maybe we describe it as barnyard. But if you compare that to black
it's
pepper,
very different.
black pepper has a
Why'd you say
seed-
barnyard? Because it does taste like, it kind of smells like a farm.
It's something when I was working for Conagra.
I think that's a great description. It's like I'm on a cattle lot.
right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not, I mean, that sounds terrible, but it's actually, it's got decent flavor.
I think it has that's the perfect description. And I worked for McCormick before I joined
Right, and
Conagra
the
Foods.
they have all the seasonings, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a sensory course, and
Yeah.
this was described as a barnyard.
It's exactly, that's a great description for it. I've never had it.
Whereas black pepper smells and tastes more like maybe cedar wood.
Yeah.
So very different in its.
So you put the ingredients with the water, we're gonna boil that, we're gonna let that boil for a little bit.
We'll just boil it,
together.
and we want to make sure that then the sugar
Yeah.
is dissolved, and that is going to be our kind of a brine.
Yep.
So,
Okay, then cabbage next, right?
Right.
So we just chop it up.
Yep, cut it
You
in
wanna do
half,
half? I'll do
and
half.
then a quarter, so just remove the,
How much do you want? You want to do it in quarters?
well, the way I would usually cut it, and just take some of the older
Yeah,
leaves
some of the
off.
outside.
I usually quarter it,
Quarter it, okay.
and then take out this middle part here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's a little bit hard. And
Yep, there we go. Okay.
you would just slice it thin, relatively
You do
thin.
slice it, okay. Slice it thin.
So you don't want to have it too thick.
Yeah. It's like when, when I slice garlic, I love to slice it super thin to break free as much of the fragrance and the taste as possible, especially when you cook it down. Do you cook with garlic in German cuisine?
Well, not as much, but
Yeah.
I personally do. So you don't smash the garlic down with the palm of your hand?
I do. When I peel it, I do for sure. I usually use a knife, the back of my knife.
Yep, the
The back of my knife and just pop it down right there. Okay. And then, do you do much cooking of German cuisine now that you're over here? Or is it more for special occasions?
It's really more for special occasions. The kids very politely eat it, and then that was that. But
That's usually how it goes, right? That
potato
seems like a
salad.
very common theme on this show when immigrant chefs talk about, their American kids who grew up and they very politely eat from the region that their parent is from.
So some things my kids really enjoy, like
Yeah.
potato salad,
Yeah.
and I make that sometimes for New Year's Eve.
Yeah. And then, do you do holiday dishes, German style?
Not that much. That
Yeah.
one time I made a duck. Was it a duck or a goose? I always get those two mixed up. For Christmas. And that was it was not bad, but it's just so much effort.
It's a lot of
and
work, right?
It really is. And is it worth it? Because you spend so much time in the kitchen that it's eaten in like 10 minutes. So not so much.
Yeah. As we talk about these Caraway, what do we do with this? Are we still cooking yet? Are we
So
waiting for that?
as we were cutting the
Cabbage.
the brine was
It was cooking down.
cooking down.
Okay.
So
So now that's done. That's cooked down enough.
that's
Do you
cooked
bring
down
it to
enough.
a complete boil or no?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Okay. It came to a boil.
So I would love to just take a quick taste. Do we have a spoon?
Yeah. Yeah. Ask and you shall receive. We're prepared here.
Yes. So I just want to make sure.
What are you tasting for? That's hot.
Oh, this is. I think we put quite a bit of pepper in there. So
The barnyard pepper, I can taste.
the barnyard pepper, and to me, it's not quite sweet enough, so I'm going to add a little bit more sugar.
So you just pour that over the cabbage?
Yeah. What that does is the heat, just the fact that it's warm, helps kind of open up the cell structure of the cabbage.
I can really smell that.
Yes, yes, you can.
fragrance. Is that the apple cider vinegar?
I would say that's both the apple cider and the white
Okay.
pepper.
So the cabbage is raw.
The cabbage is raw, yeah.
You just pour it right over the top.
Right over the top, so there's no cooking of the cabbage, but you would want to let this sit for a little bit, and then you finish it up with additional salt, pepper. We probably don't need any more pepper, but then we would put the oil over it. But while we're letting this
You
sit
let this
a
sit,
while,
right? Okay.
we could fry up some sausages.
Let's do it. But you know what? We also have bacon here. I don't know what we're gonna use this for, but I have never in my life let a plate of bacon sit here without me trying it. So I'm gonna try some bacon.
All
I
right.
love bacon. You like bacon?
I do.
So what do you do with the bacon?
The bacon goes into the salad.
Okay.
So that's optional, but I think it just adds a lot of flavor.
We have
and
some
character.
cooked. Were you gonna cook some more bacon, or do we not need to do that? Let's cook some bacon.
All right.
Okay. So we got some bacon.
Yeah, and
Just slice it up.
we're just slicing it up.
Okay.
And sometimes in Germany, sometimes I cut it in cubes, but
Yeah.
this is very nice just to cut in slices.
Okay.
Like it really nice and crispy.
Back to the caraway, while we're cutting some bacon and preparing some other stuff, how much is caraway used in German cuisine? Does everybody in Germany have caraway in their spice cabinet?
Yes, I would say so, yes.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
you use
much
it in a
more
lot of
common.
things.
Yeah. So you use it in this kind of salads, you use it for meat, for roasts, and a lot of people go back to more natural types of medicine, so they use it in teas.
Right.
And
That makes sense. I do a lot of Italian home cooking. I don't think I've ever used caraway, ever. I think I have a spice rack, and I think it might be in the spice rack. I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever used caraway. So this is fun. So we're gonna cook some bacon. This specific recipe that you're using, is this something that same recipe you've used for a long time?
this particular recipe has influences from both Austria and the Czech Republic,
Okay.
because that's where my mom was born.
Yeah. Well, that cooks down. I want to talk about the sausage. Does it matter what type of bratwurst you use? And what's the best type to use?
There are different ones from different regions.
Yeah. So we got this package, and they do sell some more authentic type of bratwurst here in Omaha. And this brand is, how do you say that? Deutsche Küche?
Küche.
Küche. Okay.
Küche.
It's uncured Bavarian bratwurst. And you were excited to get this, right?
Yes, I was
this
excited.
is a more authentic one.
I was excited because it has a Bavarian flag with
That's
the blue
right.
and white.
'Cause you're from the Bavarian region, yeah.
Yep, so
That's great.
that was like being home.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty traditional. It has pork in it, it has spices, it looks like, a little bit like parsley, maybe.
Yeah. As we cook that bacon down, would you tell me about being a food scientist? What does that actually involve? That doesn't mean you're a chef, right?
No, that's,
Sometimes people confuse you for a chef because you're a food scientist.
yes.
You're just a home cook.
I'm a home cook, yeah. So a food scientist, I learned everything about how to process food. I learned about microbiology of food, spoilage of food. We learn about product development, obviously, how
Yeah.
to make different items that you can buy on the
Okay,
shelf.
spoilage of food. Sometimes I'll keep some meat in my refrigerator for 5, 7 days. My wife says I can't eat it. She says, throw it out, it's been in the fridge too long.
I don't know.
I say, wait a minute. It's been in the fridge. If I pop it in the microwave, it'll kill all the bacteria and we're good, we can eat it. I eat it every time. 7 days is my max, maybe 8, especially if they're meatballs. I hate throwing away meatballs, right?
Yeah.
Is that too long in the fridge? 7 or 8 days for meat that's already been cooked.
That's already been cooked?
Yeah, it's already
No.
been cooked.
No, I don't think that's too long. But
Thank you.
I'm not very picky about that. But if I talk to one of the microbiologists in my company, they are much more worried about things like that.
Oh, see, I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I may have gone 10 days. I'll cook some meatballs or maybe cook some meat, maybe 10 days, and I will have eaten it. I'm not afraid. I'm crazy
I'm
like
with
that.
you.
Kirsten, I'm crazy like that.
All right, I need some paper towels,
Okay,
please.
paper towels, I'm here. Okay,
I'll just,
paper towels, where do you want this? We need a plate?
ah,
We need a plate. Let me grab
Yeah,
a plate.
maybe.
I got a plate right back here. See, this is a working set. This is a working set. We've got stuff for you.
so we'll just
put it
let
right
those,
here.
put this on the
Okay.
paper towels so
Plop
they
that down
drain
right
a little
there.
bit.
I will-
But you were talking
Some
about
more bacon.
storing meat. So if it's not cooked, obviously it's not,
Yeah,
doesn't keep it, especially ground meat, because
Yeah.
you have a larger surface area.
sure.
So there's a lot more that can go on.
Yeah.
But yeah, food science is actually really, really interesting. You can also go into packaging,
Yeah.
package design or package engineering. So this
Okay.
is pretty
So we
much
got the
ready
bacon
now.
done. Now where do we go? Do we got to boil these sausages? How do you cook the sausage?
You just fry them.
Oh, you fry them. Let's
Yeah,
throw
just
those,
put
throw
them-
those, throw those things on. Do you leave some of the grease in there, or should we get rid of some of that?
We can get rid of some of it, but
Can we dump it in that thing right there?
we can.
I think we're finished with that.
Yep.
Okay, let's cook these sausages. I love broth. We cook Italian sausages at my house,
Yeah.
but my sister married a German guy. So
So what did you
I
cook?
give them a hard time and say, listen, these are not brats. They're Italian sausage. You know, if you want brats, you can cook the brats at your house. I'll come over, you will have brats at your house.
Is there a competition going on?
Well, not really. We have more Italian sausage than brats. So I win usually, most of the time.
So what's
But you-
different in between what makes Italian sausages Italian sausages?
Well, a lot of times there's fennel
Yeah.
in there that really, and then it depends on how spicy you want the Italian sausage too. Sometimes it can be spicy. There's mild, medium, you know, depends on the spice you want to put in there. But I'm not familiar with the white bratwurst. What makes it white? Is it a different part of a different kind of meat, or what's the deal with it?
Well, they put pork in it. And you know, now I have to actually look at
I know.
the package. I never
Well,
really
that's a great
paid
idea.
much attention to what's in there.
Yeah. We haven't either. Pork.
Yep.
There's pork in there, which is what Italian is. Italian sausage is too. A lot of different spices too. Maybe it has to do with the casing. I don't know. All right. So we cook that down. How long do you let that cook?
Maybe 5 minutes or so. Because they're already cooked, you just really want to
Yeah.
get them nice and brown.
Yeah.
And that would be a very traditional, even mid-morning snack.
Yeah.
You know, we're big eaters
Yeah.
in Germany, big eaters in Bavaria.
Right.
So you have your,
Well, I like to hear.
yeah, that too, yeah, that's a food group in itself. You know,
Yeah.
that it cannot be rationed during times of war. Anything
Right.
can be rationed, but beer cannot.
Okay.
So this is about what you want them to look like. So maybe I'll just need to turn this heat down a little bit. So they should be.
So that's where you want
nice
them.
and
So are we
brown.
almost ready to plate this?
We're almost
We have
ready,
about
yeah.
4 minutes left in the show, and so I want to make sure we get this presented.
So let's finish this up.
Okay. What else we put in here?
We'll put the bacon in.
Bacon. There's some here too. I'll take some of that first. Wait a minute.
Then
Can't let bacon sit. Is that parsley?
that is parsley. So I was going to just cut it a little bit finer.
And I've got some serving plates over here, so when we're at that point,
And with parsley, it's really important that you take the flat leaf parsley because it has a lot more flavor.
okay.
So parsley, let's mix it up and then we should,
And is there oil, olive oil, or what is it?
that is corn oil. So
Corn oil,
olive oil is used in Germany but not traditionally.
Okay.
We've added it more, but traditionally we use corn oil
Okay.
or rapeseed oil. So let's see.
Just
It's
until,
good. And then we need to put some salt in there. 2 pinches. Let's see.
okay, got that. Mix it up. Okay, and then do we plate this separately? Or does it go,
You
or
would
the brats
plate
go on
this
it?
on the, you put the brats, you put the salad on the side, and then you can serve it with a slice of bread.
Awesome. Are we done with the salad? Is everything in there?
Everything is in there. I don't think we need any more white pepper. We have quite enough there.
No more
Okay.
barnyard smells. Okay, got that. Plate it on the side. Slice of bread.
And let's,
All right, that looks delicious. And while you plate that, I want to just let people know that if you'd like a copy of the recipe, you can just go to the website. It's newamericansmedia.com, and while you're there, just make sure you subscribe to the social media channels as well. It's good stuff. Okay, so then how do you eat it? With a fork and knife, probably, right?
fork and knife,
Cut
maybe
it.
some mustard if you want to.
Oh yeah, this is great.
So I hope this is decent since we kind of eyeballed it.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yep.
great. Very
That is
light.
good.
You're right. It's not like American slaw, coleslaw.
It could
There's no-
probably do with a little longer marinating,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad that the white pepper isn't overpowering, and I really think the bacon.
We will let
does
this
the trick.
marinade, and the crew in the studio here will dive into that. I can assure you of that. Kerstin, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you.
It was
Fantastic. I love learning about Germany. It's right north of Italy there. So
Yep, it
one of our
is.
neighbors. So everybody out there, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Spice and Recipe. We will catch you next week. In the meantime, have a great day, OMA and USA.